Greetings from Brno, everyone! I am super excited to do more of a deep dive into some of these wines that I've been fortunate enough to try living here as an expat in Brno. And I thought, what better way to kick things off than with what's considered the national grape of the country, Welschriesling. So prior to moving here in the Czech Republic, I had no clue of this grape varietal. I think I may have read about it in a book once or twice, but other than that, this grape rarely is grown outside of Eastern Europe. It goes by a few different names. Here in the Czech Republic, it's known as Ryzlink Vlašský, meaning walnut Riesling. In Hungary, it's known as Olac Riesling. And in Italy, it's known as Riesling Italico. This grape has a fairly disputed origin. Some say Germany, some say Italy, but here in Moravia, it has been grown since the 14th century in the region of Mikulov. And this grape is fairly peculiar in its naming of Riesling. It has nothing to do with Rhine Riesling, nothing to do with the Rieslings of Mosel, so you can just throw that out the window, nothing to do with it at all. Welschriesling has a very different characteristic to it, different flavor profile, different genetic makeup. So the name can be fairly deceiving. But here in Moravia, it has thrived in the region for hundreds of years. And since the end of communism in 1989, winemakers have taken to this grape to produce styles like suke dry, all the way to sladké sweet, even sparkling wines from Welschriesling. I find this grape very fascinating because it does take on the characteristics of terroir, of the soil types, of the climate, and here in Moravia, there's a particularly unique microclimate. Mineral-rich soils with limestone and magnesium, cool growing climates, unaffected by major storms. The region is really landlocked. So very interesting grape varietal of the region. And I wanted to focus on two excellent but totally different styles of this grape varietal. The first we'll be going to today is from a larger producer. It is Vladimir Tetur's Ryzlink Vlašský. This is a Pozdní Sibir, meaning late harvest, 2017 vintage, and suke, meaning dry. So what I love about this nose of this particular grape varietal and in this producer's style is its tropical fruit aspect to it. You have a little bit of a papaya, a little bit of a mango, of pineapple, and a slight hint of white pepper on the nose. You can see the color is a little bit of a medium to pale yellow. Since it was a later harvest grape, don't get it confused, this wine is dry, it is not sweet, even though I say late harvest. It just means that the grapes had a slightly higher sugar content upon harvest. But the nose on this is very fresh, very clean, very fruity. And the palate has bright acidity. You can see my mouth just puckering from it. Again, a slight hint of white pepper, a little bit of lemon zest on the palate as well. With this particular winery, they've been growing grapes since the 17th century, so they know what they're doing down there in Velké Pavlovice, where the winery is found. And I think it's an excellent example of just a simple Welsh Riesling, easy to drink with some girlfriends hanging out, easy to pair with a nice earthy dish like mushrooms or a light cream sauce. I think it's an excellent example of a typical Welsh Riesling of Moravia. Now going into one that's a little bit more complex, we're going to jump into Vinařství Nepraš, Ryzlink Vlašský. This is a 2015 vintage. It's got a little bottle age on there. The Nepraš winery was founded in 2012 by Vladimir Nepraš. Now, this man has quite a lengthy history in the Moravian region. He is the founder of the National Wine Salon in Moravia, also the founder of the Czech Wine Institute in South Moravia. His family is all involved in the winery as well, and his stepson is actually the lead enologist or winemaker for their wines. Now, this wine has a slightly paler lemon, a little bit difficult to see on the camera here, but the nose has a true salinity to it. Their soil type is filled with magnesium in the Pavlov region of South Moravia. And so the mineral content in that soil thrives with this grape. It really takes on that characteristic. So white pepper, lots of mineral components. This wine is salty. It just makes you want to eat something with it. It has a great salinity level, very high acidity, and just very juicy. Vladimir Nepraš has been making wine for years. He is one of the founders of the VOC Mikulov, one of the designated wine aficionados of the region. And he has promoted Czech wine and Moravian wine throughout the world. And he is very well regarded in the wine circles here in South Moravia and all over the Czech Republic. So I think that these are excellent examples of this unknown grape varietal, Welschriesling. I'll hold them up here for you to see. Two very different examples of the grape, two excellent examples of what this grape can do depending on the soil types. Again, the first, Vladimir Tetur's Welschriesling, being very fruity and fresh and vibrant, while Nepraš, Ryzlink Vlašský, is a little bit more of a saline quality, taking on those mineral qualities from the soil. Both excellent examples of this grape varietal. And next time you are in your exotic wine store, go ahead and try to look for a bottle of these Welschrieslings. I think you'll be really surprised. So cheers from Brno, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and cheers to Welschriesling.